I've been debating if I should cover this video basically since the day it came out. However, I decided to do such because, well, if I want to keep saying good night and good luck to end these commentaries, it would be very inappropriate of me to remain silent when we have an actual neo-McCarthyite running around.
I'm not fucking done with you, Carmen. I'm upset, I'm frustrated, and I'm enraged.
And I'm looking at the first OC an anime-obsessed 15-year-old would make. I just wish to remind you all that this video is about somebody's suicide, and Neko thought it would only really be a worthwhile watch if we stared at Hades' buff cousin wielding the all-seeing scarlet sword the entire time. Seriously, why does the sword have so many eyes? It's a sword. It doesn't need vision. I'm just going to put all my cards on the table and say my biggest issue with this video is how performative it is. What I mean by that is it feels like Neko is using this situation as an excuse to attack Kamen Rider, and as we'll see later, an excuse to recruit others to attack Kamen Rider. I mention this because, again, as Neko says, this is in response to somebody trying to kill themselves. How am I supposed to respond to that, exactly? I know it's a tad early to say this, but spoilers, the hashtag Neko throws out is not about supporting Septipaws, it's about attacking Kamen Rider. Which, in my mind, is a complete skewing of what your priorities should be in this situation. Shouldn't you be focusing on the person who just tried to end their own life? You know, make sure they're okay before you start attacking people? I mean, think about it. If somebody is stabbed, you don't make a YouTube video calling out the stabber, you make sure they're not going to bleed to death first.
For those who don't know, a while ago, I made a 4-part series on Kamen Rider, and I wanted to think that she was doing better, but unfortunately, she crossed a line that is forcing my hand to attempt to create one of the biggest shitstorms the commentary community has fucking seen.
For those who don't know, here's how the 4-part series Neko just referenced began.
Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary folk, come sit around the fire, cause I have a tale to tell. I've been around the commentary scene for a while now, and I've seen my fair share of garbage commentators. Racists, sexists, transphobes, dumb fucks, pedophiles, even a couple straight-up Nazis. But recently, I found a commentator who embodies the worst qualities of everything mentioned above.
So the line is beyond the point of having the worst aspects of pedophiles and Nazis. I should also ask, by the way, what are the better aspects of pedophiles and Nazis?
A friend of mine was driven to attempt suicide due to her actions. I am not exaggerating here.
No, even in the screenshots you showed, Carmen was ignoring and dismissing pre-existing feelings Septipaws had. That's not driving someone to suicide, under any meaningful definition of the term. If you get a flu and then ignore it and go about your day anyway, is that causing you to have the flu? No, that's not how this works in the slightest.
Septipaws was repeatedly bullied and dogpiled in Carmen's server to the point where they were threatening to overdose. Carmen accused them of fishing for attention and later continued to provoke them. Due to this and other factors, Septi tried to take their own life. The good news is they did fail and they are feeling better, albeit a little bit. I tried to talk to Carmen about this, but she refused to take any responsibility and refused to apologize to the person who she helped drive to attempt to take their own fucking life. I am not beating around the bush here, Carmen. You are fucking evil.
Unlike before, when you were a mere pedophile Nazi.
It's the worst kind of Nazi there is!
I gave you the chance to apologize. I gave you the chance to talk things out nicely.
I mean, look at me. Don't I look like a very calm and nice person? Don't I just have the appearance of somebody who's dedicated to civility every chance I get, and who is not going to twist your words around or act aggressive or call you a pedophile and a Nazi? Just look at this face. Would this face lie to you?
Fuck your feelings. Fuck your emotions. I'm going for the throat. I'm not going to sit back and save my anger for when someone does succeed in killing themselves. I'm enraged now. I'm angry now. The rage should be present before someone actually succeeds.
He poisoned our water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague unto our houses! He did? No, but are we just gonna wait around until he does?
I want to put so much pressure on Carmen and force her to give a sincere apology to Septi.
That's not how sincerity works. An apology is supposed to be a sign that you believe those actions to be wrong and would not do them in the future. If you are apologizing because you want to get people off of your back, you do not meet one of the two very important requirements. That being, you don't think those actions are wrong. You're only saying that because there are people forcing you to. You can no more force a sincere apology out of somebody than you can force somebody into consensual sex. Hey, I wasn't robbing him. I just forced him into a wealth transfer.
I don't normally advocate for this, but this situation is extreme. We could have lost a life, so I consider this an exception. Make sure Carmen sees this video, not just once or twice. I want her to see this video until she's shaking with anger.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's called targeted harassment.
I want this video to fill every notification tab she has, along with the hashtag #ApologizeCarmenWriter. I want to force her to apologize, to send a message that there is a line. Cross it, and you are fucked.
Hey, what do a kangaroo court, vigilante justice, and an angry mob all have in common? They are the things Neko essentially just advocated for.
I want to make it clear that actions like this will not be fucking tolerated. Not just from Carmen, but from anyone who tries this. Septipause is just the situation we saw. We have no clue how many other times Carmen has done this. We don't know what other vile shit she's pulled that people are too scared to talk about. If Carmen has wronged you in any way, now's the time to speak up. I will have your back. My community will have your back. You aren't alone, and I will make fucking sure that your voice is heard. Not to mention, Carmen isn't the only person at fault here. She has a whole server of people who sat back and did fucking nothing. By my standards, if you didn't do anything, you are just as guilty as her. You could have stepped in, but you didn't. So in my eyes, you owe Septi an apology as well.
Here, Neko Koda is evoking the legal precedent set by the final episode of Seinfeld.
Sitting back and doing nothing doesn't make you innocent.
Yes, it does! That's what being innocent means.
Quite the fucking opposite. Don't get me wrong, some people did help when it was needed, and if you did, good on you. But if you didn't, you owe Septi an apology.
I also just want to point out real quick that apparently evil in the mind of Neko Koda only requires words to be forgiven. Not actual meaningful actions, just words.
My point of this video is simple. I want to send a message that shit like this is not okay, but I cannot do it alone. I may have 3K subs, my goal is further than that. Until Carmen apologizes, I want so much pressure to be put on her that she'll have no choice but to react. I want her to face the full repercussions of playing a hand and driving someone to suicide. I want her name to be as toxic as Kai Weiss. The commentary community doesn't like to have an image of toxicity.
What community does? Anyway, the rest of the video is Neko Koda attempting to recruit people into this hashtag movement she started, so I'm ending it here. Final thoughts, even giving Neko Koda the benefit of the doubt and assuming that she made this video with nothing but the best intentions, the presentation can still mislead people in very serious ways. At best, I see this video as nothing more than somebody with their priorities out of order attempting to help through hurting. At worst, I see this as somebody who is taking advantage of a real-life tragic situation for no other reason than to get back at somebody who she already has a vendetta against. However, regardless of what the video is, what it advocates for is my real issue. Witch hunts are always wrong. Angry mobs are always wrong. It doesn't matter if you think your specific angry mob is for a righteous cause. Everyone thinks their angry mob is for a righteous cause. That's why they start an angry mob in the first place. It is important to remember that we cannot cast out the tools of civility and reason unless we are perfectly fine with everyone else doing the same, including those who will gladly jump at the opportunity to attack us just as much as we are casting them out to attack others. Regardless of what was done, the fact is, I have to stand against this on principle. Angry mobs, especially angry mobs led by pseudo-aspiring demagogues, are the antithesis of civility and the antithesis of reason. And those are the two most important aspects a civilization could have. Good night and good luck.